On Dumas, his second. Terry Woods, an all-stater out of Waterloo, Iowa West High.
And what, about 150 pounds, and he looks like he's about 12 years old.
150 ringing wet, maybe.
Terrific kid to watch. Of course, the Antlers, the famous rooting section of Missouri, love this kid. They call him Rudy Huxtable after the Cosby Kid.
Came into this game with 143 assists, second in the league to Mookie Blaylock. Blaylock will not play the first game because of a suspension. Later today, Oklahoma and Colorado in game 2 this afternoon. Another doubleheader here set for tonight.
Mark Baugh gives away the baseline, tries to go behind, and 90% of the time on that reach and grab, you get called for the foul.
Baugh, the foul, his second in the lane. Little shot laid up and in there nicely by Byron Houston. Houston averaging 13 a game coming into this one, and Iowa State by 6.
Jay, that was good awareness by Houston that time, because that lob pass was meant for Dumas, and the timing wasn't.
Victor Alexander kicking it out to Bourne. His jumper won't go, and it's finally controlled in there by Jordan. He almost stepped over the little guy, Darwyn Alexander.
And going back, I think Corey Williams has done a nice job defensively on Mike Bourne. That last three-point shot, he really, I felt, kind of forced that.
Thomas Jordan, who worked very hard, put on some extra weight, has 12. The Iowa State lead is cut to 4.
And you mentioned Jordan. The last 5 ball games he's really been playing, averaging over 16 points a game and shooting over 65%.
Mark Baugh's shot wouldn't go down. Alexander in the lane puts it up. He can't get it. And coming away, Houston.
He really, Victor Alexander had a better shot right when he got that ball. He took it into traffic and made a difficult one.
Jordan trying to get it under. Good job that time by Baugh to tap it away, and back come the Cyclones. Woods going down. Oh, no basket. Whoa, wouldn't that have been something? A foul committed before the shot, and Johnny Orr is saying, oh, come on, gentlemen.
Well, with this game and what's at stake, these coaches are going to go for everything. Here comes Wood. Good change of pace dribble right there. Lets him get advantage. He's bumped out there, and you see the official already coming in on the call.
And of course, in the NBA, that's a continuation, and they give him the basket.
Darwyn Alexander with a foul, and that was Bourne putting it up. Back the other way comes the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Dumas flying through the air for 2. He has 8.
Well, great break, and credit that to Corey Williams, because he gave the ball early. If he takes that ball deep, the defense is going to catch up. Woods gets hit in the eye.
And a whistle.
Now, something Iowa State had problem with in the first part of that first half was their guards getting back. They've been slow to recover, and Oklahoma State has got out on the break and just beat the Iowa State guards back.
Bourne will put it in play on the far side as they're set to resume action. Terry Woods. Bourne had a thought about putting it up. Alexander back to Bourne. 17 minutes to play. Alexander couldn't get it to go. Tapped it up. Alexander with 14 points.
And Dumas didn't protect the backside that time. He let his man get inside.
There's Dumas from the corner. It won't go. Bourne has the rebound for Iowa State. Bourne really works hard out there. And a little running shot comes up short from Urquhart. This is Darwyn Alexander.
And Houston really cleared Urquhart out today. He's strong.
Jordan can't get it.
Oh, what a jam.
Goodness. I tell you, Dumas is beginning to make himself felt in underneath there. He has 10 now.
What a play was that? He was skied.
6 points in the second half for Dumas. Terry Woods counters for Iowa State. 16 minutes to play, 50-46 the Cyclones.
Well, sometimes you force one and get away with it.
Jordan is fouled underneath. A foul charge to Victor Alexander.
Well, Victor Alexander, watch this play. He is really late coming across. He trails his man. Look how deep Jordan is. He gets that ball 2 feet inside the paint.
Well, and the stats may not show it, but this fellow right here, Thomas Jordan, has outplayed Victor Alexander here this afternoon, on both ends of the floor. He's done a terrific job defensively. He shot the jump hook over him a few seconds ago, and here he's come down and he's gotten a foul on Alexander.
Earlier, he missed a couple of free throws, but he gets these two. And number 34 for Iowa State, Sam Mack, getting set to come back in.
Sam Mack playing his first year, as you mentioned earlier, Jay, Prop 48 kids, his first year of basketball. Did a good job for the Cyclones in the first half rebounding. He was their leader with 6.
16 minutes to play, 50-48, Iowa State. Very fine contest to open this Big 8 tournament here at Kemper. Bourne. That's Mack. Mack off the glass, won't get it. Good rebound by Houston.
He's an excellent rebounder, and he led the Cowboys. I think he had 7 rebounds in the first half, along with 8 points.
Houston with a little banker. Nice shot by Houston off the glass. He has 12. Score is tied. It's the 11th time we've been knotted in this game. Taking it in, putting it up was Mark Baugh. Wouldn't go. A foul called on the play.
Watch Baugh right now. He has a great long step right here and takes the ball away. And you see Jordan on the way down, gets Baugh on the wrist.
Foul on Jordan, his second. 3 team fouls for Iowa State. 3 for Oklahoma State. Mark Baugh on the line with 12. Baugh is a sophomore at 20 points in the Kansas State victory. Once this season, he was 11 for 11 in field goals. Missing there in the rebound again to Houston.
Houston having a great game. As you said, he was really silent in Oklahoma State's loss at Ames, but he is really playing a ball game here this afternoon.
Mark Baugh took it away from Jordan. Baugh puts it up.
You notice
for Baugh.
Jay, one thing the Cowboys are doing defensively is really bad, and that's a sign, I think, of young players. They're really leaving their feet, giving Iowa State some opportunities. They just take the pump fake every time.
Dumas getting it in underneath. Shot was put up, wouldn't go down, and a pushing foul called. That was Houston trying to get it up in there.
Houston uses his body inside, gets good position. Mack just moved him out of there.
Terry, you talked earlier about the significance of this game regarding NCAA bids, and we'll get some more thoughts regarding that in a little while. Right now, with 14:52 to play, we'll take this timeout.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, and for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
This Bud's for you. This Bud's for you.
A newly imported car has arrived. It comes from a company with a reputation for quality and design. And the automotive press here has already begun to praise it for its performance, styling, and value. The interesting thing is that here is Japan. And the car they're importing is the Ford Taurus.
America's top business managers, they're not stuck in offices. They don't work 9 to 5. They don't even work downtown. They're here, American farmers, using top management tools like classic herbicide for roots and all weed control in soybeans. Classic.
Iowa State is is up by 3 as you look at the Cowboy right there.
Jay, I thought Robert Duvall died in Lonesome Dove. This is him back again.
Well, they love their basketball in Stillwater and their football and their fast horses and pretty women.
Uh-oh.
53-50.
One thing,
Iowa State.
Jay, the crowd, the Cowboys drew the second largest attendance in their history this year with this club, second only to that 82-83 team, which finished with 24 wins.
Yeah, Johnny Orr and his kids have really turned them on up in Ames, Iowa. That last shot by Jordan wouldn't go. Now Victor Alexander has an opportunity for three-point play. Alexander with 18. Leonard Hamilton a little concerned.
Well, Victor Alexander had been content pretty much to turn and look for the jump shot. This time he turns and goes to the board, and I think surprises Jordan right here. Gets inside, gets it. You see Mark Baugh pump the fist because he knows it's going to have a chance for the conventional three-point play. There you see him definitely inside, and Jordan coming over the top trying to recover, can't do it.
Johnny Pittman comes into the game to replace Jordan, who has 3. Rebound there to Houston. 55-50 Iowa State. 14:20 to play in this one. Dumas loses it. Mike Bourne with it. 14 turnovers against Oklahoma State. It's really hurt them.
Well, in the second half, it's been the Cowboys with 3 turnovers and the Cyclones 0.
Alexander.
Oh, what a tip.
Who was that? Baugh?
I think it was Baugh.
Now timeout.
Oh, and he's got
called.
blood
Bourne
streaming
is
from his cheek.
bleeding. The blood is streaming down Bourne's face. He got nicked on the cheek.
That's a stitch job right there, Jay.
Boy, oh boy. Frank Randall, the veteran trainer of the Cyclones, attending to Bourne.
I'll tell you one thing, he's a hard-nosed kid, and he'll be back in play whether they have to stitch it or not. They'll probably take him in, and I'll bet he'll be back in this ball game.
That's what they're going to do. Frank Randall taking him right in. Let's see how it happened down here if we can.
Here it comes.
Oh, with the elbow. His own teammate. That was Mark Baugh. And you watch him. He took the shot right there, and he comes down the court, and then he sees the blood spurting out, and he says, what happened to me?
That's called a tip in and a check out.
Wow.
I think we might point out that Victor Alexander set up that play with a nice little hook shot inside. I'm here watching this game. He's got 18 points. I think they're the quietest 18 we've seen in a long time.
That's a very good point. They are quiet points, aren't they?
And yet so effective.
Seton Hall over Connecticut, 74-66 the final. Shot up by Dumas won't go. Alexander rebounding. North Carolina State upset by Maryland in the ACC tournament. And another turnover. In fact, come the Cowboys.
Bad pass by Woods that time.
Corey Williams, and here's a walk. Charge to Pittman. Another turnover. 15 turnovers. And
Leonard Hamilton furious. Pittman's coming out right here.
Royce Jeffries will return. Jeffries, number 24. Points off turnovers in this one. Oklahoma State 15. Or 13, and Iowa State 18. Underneath, Jeffries with the rebound. Back to the attack comes Alexander for the Cowboys. He pops from 15, got it.
Well, he's been silent, but he has the ability to score.
5-point lead for the Cyclones, 13-10 to play. Jumper by Woods. Boy, now the little guys are starting to have some fun.
Well, they aren't even looking for anybody now. They're just coming down and pumping it.
Well, that battle of guards scoring we talked about in the 2 games, whichever guard court scored, shot well, they won the ball game. In the first half, it was 12 points by each guard court.
Pushing foul against Alexander. Alexander's second.
There's Victor Alexander. He's going to pick up his second. Watch these 2 guys putting bodies on bodies. You see Victor Alexander, both hands underneath. Official right out in the opener. No way you're going to get away from that. I'm not so sure the pace of this game has been up and down the court, and Victor Alexander has not been able to rest.
Beautiful little spin move by Corey Williams in there. He has 9 points now. 59-54, Iowa State. Woods, soft touch. Terry Woods with 2, and he has 16.
You know, Jay, he did a nice job there in the penetration. As he went up, you could just see him hesitating, waiting to see if the big man came after him. He didn't. He took the shot.
And here is a foul on Alexander.
Big foul right here.
Yeah, that's number 3.
Victor Alexander, he seems sophomore, has had such a great year. Made the first team, all Big 8. See him go up right there.
Well, Gary, as you pointed out, I think that's just from tiredness. He looks exhausted right now. He's played the whole game. He probably needs a rest. But John Orr is not taking him out.
Royce Jeffries at the free throw line, the most experienced of the Cowboys. And a lane violation or foul. Let's see. There'll be a foul called in underneath there. The word on board is that he does have a gash under the eye on the cheek, and it will require stitches. That last foul charged to Byron Houston. It's his first. The team fouls now. 6 for Iowa State, 5 for Oklahoma State. 61-54. Cyclones lead it. 12-10 left in this game.
See, there's again the pump fake, and the Cowboys leaving their feet. That's caused them some situations where you get a guy penetrating, then you got to force and come off and help out, and it leaves Iowa State with the advantage.
Foul charged on Jeffries as Mark Baugh took it down in there, along with Sam Mack, and it'll be Mack, I believe, who will go to the line. Personal foul number 1.
You mentioned this guy, Leonard Hamilton at Gastonia. When he played there, Gastonia Community College, scored 54 points in one game, and that was a single game record.
In his 12 years at Lexington, working at Kentucky, 23 former Wildcats went to the NBA, most of them that he recruited. 7 points right now for Sam Mack in this game.
Of course, he's Raycom's house coach, isn't he, from Gastonia, right outside of Charlotte? He can probably go home and go right to the studio.
Not too far. 12 minutes to play. 63-54. Iowa State. Now this from Phillips, 66.
Sure, I still use my old gas card. Especially since I learned that cash and credit are the same low price at Phillips 66.
Phillips 66. Cash or credit. Same low price.
Whether it's blistering hot or freezing cold, you need a quality motor oil you can depend on. Drop Arctic motor oil in the distinctive gold bottle. It's more than a fair weather friend. Phillips 66. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
You may not see me in the sports pages, but I play for one of the world's largest teams, Days Inns, the fastest growing hotel chain in the world. Our most valuable players are the 50 Days Inn owners right here in the Big 8 Conference. They'll give you a great room at a great price with restaurants, pools, lounges, even meeting rooms. When it comes to great prices and great locations, see why the professional traveler stays with us.
When you live in Manhattan, you need comfort, you need pot roast. Sometimes need to eat pot roast with a spoon. I've got a taste for some real food.
Travel arranged through Continental, offering grand destination vacations throughout the world with a double your money back guarantee. Call 1-800-634-5555. Game 1 of the Big 8 tournament. Very important affair for these two clubs. Cyclones scoring breakdown. The front line averaging 51% of the team scoring, 44.2. Cyclones. Alexander with 18. Baugh with 17. Mack with 8. And this game, a very significant game. Besides tipping off the tournament, it's going to mean a lot.
Well, Jay, it may be the most important game in the tournament in that the winner most surely will be selected the NCAA tournament, and the loser may not be.
Another turnover. Terry Woods' pass got behind Urquhart. He got a little fancy with that one. Torrey Williams coming up. Gary, you've got more word on Bourne.
Yeah, the latest we've got is that the bleeding is so bad that they can't get it sewed up, and it's doubtful right now that he might.
Underneath. couple of
Look at the
tips
Cowboys
missed,
3
and
times.
Dumas is beside himself because he had the jam and didn't get it down.
Got the net up in the rim, too.
Oh, he had the net up. He also grabbed the rim. Probably should have been a technical foul, Gary.
And the other way, Sam Mack scores for Iowa State. And they have their biggest lead in the game, 11 points.
Victor Alexander just jumped up and pulled the net down, so everything's fine now.
That's a big turnaround play. Cowboys do not get to the easy way, and Iowa State comes down with a 4-point swing.
And the Cyclone fans are really into it here. Dumas will try to quiet them. Doesn't get it. Back the other way.
A 2-on-1.
Mack's going to take it all. Doesn't get it. Rebound Jeffrey. Gary Thompson and Curry Kirkpatrick and I'll be selecting the 4th player of the game at the conclusion of this one. Right now, good save. No, he stepped out of bounds. I was about to say Houston made a good save. Thomas Jordan's going to come back into the game for Oklahoma State as we near the midway point of this second half, and the Cyclones out to an 11-point advantage.
I think the Cowboys, well, Leonard Hamilton's going to get a timeout right now, but again, a little quick on the shot, selects nobody on the boards.
65-54, Iowa State. More Big 8 tournament action after this.
The Clydesdales, the symbol of Budweiser quality, of Beechwood aging, the choicest natural ingredients, and a genuine commitment to freshness and taste. One beer lives up to all this. Budweiser.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, you've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system with the Lubra Smooth strip for the best a man can get.
Well, there's a victory sign. It might be a little early, but Iowa State leads by 11. And, gentlemen, we will be picking the player of the game for Ford at the conclusion of this one. We got a lot of candidates right now. I'll tell you that.
Iowa State already with 4 men in double figures, showing their balance that has continued all season.
Curry, Connecticut losing today. That puts them out of the NCAA picture, you figure?
Well, yeah, the old cliche on the bubble, their bubble has just burst, of course, in New York. Seton Hall, the team that beat them, I think a real dark horse in the NCAA tournament, could do a lot of damage.
All right, it's Woods for Iowa State. Oh, tough luck for him there. Jeffries rebounds for Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys have got to get going. Jeffries trying to get it in to Jordan. Another takeaway. 18 turnovers.
I think Oklahoma State may have to look at some outside shooting from the guards right now. Iowa State's really dropping back and swarming inside.
Yeah. Inside the 10-minute mark. You know, I'm going to say that Johnny Orr's had a lot of wonderful teams over the years as that shot was missed by Baugh and the Cowboys come back. But, Gary, I would think this might be the finest coaching job he's ever done, considering the problems he's had, as Thomas Jordan scores for Oklahoma State. I mean, when you figure the fellows he lost because of ineligible situations and injuries, this team was in a shambles early in the season.
Well, they were. They lost 2 starters and a backup center. And he's put the club together, some fine sophomores with some talent. And I think the key is they've really got together and playing as a team. They have a feeling for one another, and that's important. And, you know, talking with Leonard Hamilton last night, and Myron Roderick, their athletic at the same time, Myron asked Leonard, he said, what do you feel for the game? He said, hey, we're in the best mental frame of mind for this game that we could be all year. The kids are really ready for it.
Dumas is back in. Jeffries out for Oklahoma State. Foul in underneath as Alexander tried for the shot. Jordan commits the foul, and that is 4 on Jordan.
And that's a huge foul, as Jordan may have to come out of the game.
Well, Jordan motioning. He wants to stay in the ball game. Look at it. He's putting his hands up, Curry. He does not want to come out, but they've got
And Jeffries comes back in.
Well, and you pointed out the surprise of Iowa State this year. This man at the line, Victor Alexander, if there was an all-surprise team.
Here's Victor Alexander on the line. We just got word, Gary, that there was a power failure at the station in Ames, Iowa, so we'll try to kind of recap what's happened. Bourne is injured, going to require stitches and a big gash. 12 stitches, we're told, going to be taken or have been taken in Bourne's cheek. And at halftime, Iowa State led 42-36. They're up 67-56 right now. And here's a great takeaway there. What a play for Darwyn Alexander. And he's got 9 points.
And that is a key play for them. The Cowboys need something to get them going, and it takes a play like that to maybe sometimes turn a team around.
67-58 Iowa State with 8.5 to go. Harry Woods again. Woods now has 18.
And we talked about guard scoring, and Woods has been lighting it up. That looks like an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, Jeffries.
And here comes Mark Bourne back to the Iowa State bench.
There is Bourne with the patch underneath the eye. And if you missed it, he really
down there.
He really took a shot from his own teammate, Mark Baugh, underneath. And into the game comes Terry Woods for Iowa State.
Jay, we were talking about Iowa State and their stunning success they've had this year. I think Victor Alexander, if there was an all-surprise team, this man would be on it.
Let me correct what I said. Chris Gaffney in for Oklahoma State. Woods was already in there. That's Woods right down the lane. And now it's Dumas coming back for the Cowboys. Dumas, too fancy.
That's right. No time, you're down, and Leonard Hamilton's up. You got a 3-on-1. All you do is lay the ball off. You're right, Jay. You don't need a fancy play there.
No time to be cute when you're down 69-58 with 7:45 to play.
Good pass on.
Alexander missing, but Mack gets it back out front to Woods.
You know, in the first half, Terry, we found the Cowboys, I thought, beating Iowa State to lose balls. Now Iowa State is beating the Cowboys.
Well, foul charged on Byron Houston.
You're going to look at a lost opportunity for the Cowboys here. Dumas coming in, almost maybe a walk right there, goes behind his back. They had a 3-on-1 situation, both lanes filled. All you do is ball fake one way, move the defensive man, and then lay it off to the open man.
They had Jordan wide open to his right.
Well, and remember, this team is so young. I think they're getting very impatient here down toward the end. They're getting flustered. They've been in a losing streak down the tail end of the season here, and it's all coming out today.
Sam Mack at the line. He's a 69.2% free throw shooter, averaging 11.4 a game. And a good job of rebounding there by Urquhart.
This guy, Urquhart's been a solid performer for Johnny Orr down the stretch here. He's really performed well.
Gary, I would have to think that most people who root for the Cyclones realize these guys are overachievers. What a job Orr has done, as we've mentioned.
And you got Hamilton on the other end. What a job he did to put 10 new players together that haven't played at all. That's something.
Makes the play. Batted that ball out of bounds. 7 minutes to go. 69-58 Iowa State.
Orr sweating it out. He and Hamilton both know that this is a big one. It's probably one or the other going to the NCAA, and a good deflection there by Urquhart as far as the Cyclones are concerned.
Jeffries in front. Got the shot off. Rebound taken down by Mack.
The Cowboys challenging Victor Alexander. He stayed away from his 4th foul, and they haven't been able to get the shot down.
Dumas is set to come back in as Hamilton spent a little time lecturing to him. Ready to return him. Underneath, Mack put it up. Second chance, got it. Sam Mack scoring again. He has a dozen.
Byron Houston recovered real well that time. He lost his man, but he leads the Big 8 in block shots with 62 coming in. But then Iowa State able to recover and put up the second shot.
And that was Jeffries back the other way. 11-point lead, 71-60 Iowa State. 6 minutes to play. Returning will be Dumas, along with Darwyn Alexander. Chris Gaffney going out along with Royce Jeffries. And Gary, I'm wondering, Coach Orr might tell his troops to begin to work a little clock right now, and that looks like exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I think you got to be careful. You get almost 6 minutes to play, and that's a long time. They've been in a good rhythm. I think if you come down and don't get your stuff off the break or quick shot, then you might bring it out and make sure that you work the clock a little bit. But I don't think you start thinking about working the clock right now this early.
Foul on Byron Houston, his third.
See, Mark Baugh there goes up and shot an air ball. Sam Mack, a good job. And as then, I don't know, maybe the Cowboys are getting a little tired. You're finding Iowa State continually maybe being out quick now, but they're inside the Cowboys on that offensive glass.
Well, Gary, the Big 8 people were saying last night in terms of the NCAA selection, the best case scenario for them would be to have Iowa State to win this game. Then they would be the 4th team chosen, and maybe Oklahoma State would make it in on their own, having beaten Oklahoma during the regular season. So if this were to happen, it might be a good omen for 5 Big 8 teams.
Mack gets a couple. He had 27 against Oklahoma State at Ames in 26 minutes. Remember that? Dumas under to Jordan, and Jordan is fouled. Foul charge to Terry Woods.
Well, we saw Dumas on one end a while ago making a poor play. Now you really have to credit the guy, because watch here. This ball no more hits his hands, and right inside he pops it to Jordan, who goes up, gets it knocked away. Probably a good save by Woods right there. He makes him go to the line and hit a pair rather than giving him up the easy slam.
Jordan is 6'10", 235 pounds. Leonard Hamilton.
And the Cyclones on that play, Curry, that we're talking about, pick up 1 point right there by forcing him to go to the line.
Exactly, as you say, a save by Woods. Maybe that should be an NCAA statistic, like in hockey, save.
Sam Mack got the rebound. This free throw is hurting Oklahoma State. 5:20 to play.
Jay, the funny stat on Oklahoma State, too, is that on the road they have shot free throws better than they have at home. And here they're struggling.
Well, of course, they've been a good free throw shooting team on the road, but they have not been a good team on the road, unable to win, of course, except for one game. I think the mark of a very young team. They beat everybody in the league, and they lost everybody in the league.
Shot put up, wouldn't go down for Baugh. Hit the backing. It'll belong to Oklahoma State. Leonard Hamilton right there.
This man last night saying he got advice from coaches all over the country this year. Just be patient. Be patient.
Dumas tries one from 20. Rebound Sam Mack. 4:40 to play.
Okay, we talked about free throws. Here's an update on that. Iowa State is 14 out of 18 free throws for the game. Oklahoma State 5 out of 11. Iowa State, the #1 free throwing team in the conference, 73.6 as a team. Looking at Oklahoma State, they're 6th in the league at 67%. So that's definitely a factor in hurting their play.
This Oklahoma State club, as Terry Woods hits again. This Oklahoma State club is the highest scoring team in OSU history, averaging better than 85 a game coming into this one. No basket. Foul will be charged on Alexander before Dumas did his flying act.
Well, can that guy get up?
This is the frustration, Doug, right here. We're behind, and I'm going to slam this. I'm so frustrated.
Missed a slam earlier, and he'll go to the line. But Richard Dumas out of Washington High in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the player of the year, Oklahoma, prep All-American.
Of course, he and Houston, both players of the year in Oklahoma. I think the last 2 years he's gotten away. Leonard Hamilton has gotten away from Billy Tubbs.
Well, you can go another a guy down there, and Royce Jeffries is also an Oklahoma High School Player of the Year.
Alexander's playing out there with 4 fouls, but doesn't make much difference. We're going to get Bourne back into the game, and he'll get a big, big hand. Cyclone fans coming to their feet. What a shot he took. 12 stitches under that eye.
We have to call him Boom Boom Bourne.
Timeout, Oklahoma State. Iowa State leading 75-62. We'll be right back with more after this from your friends at Phillips 66.
You know, I used to think all gasolines were alike. They're not. See, I just got the car I always wanted. Fuel injected and everything. But every morning when I'd start it, it would spit and sputter, and sometimes it would stop altogether. Then I discovered this place, Phillips 66, and high detergent, super clean, unleaded gasoline. Well, after a couple of tank pulls, I discovered something else. The problem wasn't my new car. It was my old gasoline.
Hey guys, look who's here.
It's Mr. Most Likely to Succeed.
Hi, Steve. Nice truck.
Bet it's just like our trucks.
Nah, it's a Ford Ranger XLT. Has anti-lock rear brakes, electronic fuel injection.
How about AM/FM stereo cassette?
That too. Plus power steering and 660 powertrain warranty.
Okay, but who paid less?
I did. I hate reunions.
Ford Ranger. More features for less money than Chevy or Toyota.
You can depend on Phillips 66, the official sponsor of Big 8 basketball, for top quality, high detergent, unleaded gasolines, which clean up your car's fuel injectors and keep your car running clean. Next time, fill up Phillips 66. Well, gentlemen, we still have to pick the Ford player of the game, and we've got about 4:03 to do that. Curry, you got any thoughts at this point?
Well, I like Terry Woods. He's got a career high today of 20 points, 5 assists. He's played a tremendous floor game, and I think he's been a thorn on defense against Oklahoma State as well.
At 5'9", 150 pounds, a big day for this fella. Well, we'll see. Bourne, who is back in there, getting it in, and pressure now from Oklahoma State, but it doesn't bother Iowa State very much.
Oh, Jay, one of the reasons Bourne's back in is he said he's a conference second-leading free throw shooter. You're getting down to the time where Oklahoma State is probably going to be starting looking at some fouls and chasing people. They want Bourne to handle that basketball.
Urquhart takes it in the lane, can't get it to go. Rebound taken down by Houston, and he throws it away. Another turnover. That's number 20, and that's frustration for Leonard Hamilton. And he's trying to get his kids back in here.
Trying to be positive, but boy, that hurts, a play like that. They 13 down, and you got to look for something to happen. And
well, certainly you figure that Oklahoma State may be headed out of this tournament, but they may have the shot at the NCAA or maybe the NIT, of course. In the lane, Urquhart puts it up, 77-62, Iowa State.
Well, Urquhart looked like they're setting up for that on the drive. He had it the last time, he just did not convert the basket.
Dumas missing from the corner. 3 minutes to play.
And Curry alluded to Dumas earlier in the telecast. He's almost 10 points off in his field goal shooting this year.
Well, he just can't get it down here late in the game either.
Pass goes to Dumas, and they're asking for help on the play, and the ball will go over to Iowa State. Hamilton is saying, come on down here, let's get some pressure on the ball. It wouldn't go for him. Jordan rebounds.
Well, Cowboys got to come down quick. They got to start putting it up just like that and going for it.
With Corey Williams, his shot wouldn't go, and a foul on Dumas. With 2.5 to play, Dumas commits his third personal foul.
And you're going to see Corey Williams. We talked coming back in the ballgame. They need 3-point shots or a lot of points right now. Dumas coming over the top, makes 2 grabs at Sam Mack, and Ron Grissom, official, right on top of the call.
And Dumas going out. Chris Gaffney coming back in for Oklahoma State. On the free throw line, Sam Mack. Down. And he has 15. There's Terry Woods. Curry, you got a little story to tell about this
Well,
fella,
again,
huh?
I think he's played a tremendous game today. Again, as we said earlier, he played in Missouri earlier this season. Of course, the famous wrecking crew in the stands there, the Antlers, got on him and his teammate Victor Alexander. Woods is 150 pounds. Alexander's about 280 or 260, and the Antlers started cheering at Terry Woods. Victor ate your food.
Kind of David and Goliath, these two guys, aren't they? Here's Bourne fighting to hold on for Iowa State and getting it out there to Terry Woods.
You know, that's a pretty smart play by Bourne right there. Instead of looking out to get out on a break situation, he just controlled the ball because time's in Iowa State's favor. You don't need that shot right now.
Johnny Orr is so upset at Mark Baugh, he didn't know what to do. Back the other way, chance for the three-pointers. Corey Williams got it in.
Listen, Orr, look at Orr. He's so mad about that. Was a slinging Mark Baugh on that one.
Look, he's stamping his foot.
No relation to swinging Sammy Baugh, but he sure looked like him.
That's right. Sammy Baugh wore number 33.
Well, this game means so much to both clubs here because they're worried about it with the NCAA bid. And I really think these two clubs, the way they got at it, the Big 8 deserves 5 teams.
The free throw. Up and good by Corey Williams.
This is the one that upset Orr and got him off.
Oh, was he upset?
You have to know as a player, time and score.
Jerry, I think Baugh was in the running for your player of the game until he threw that one.
Here's a foul charged. It'll go against Darwyn Alexander, his third. Orr is lecturing to Mark Baugh. And Leonard Hamilton and Johnny Orr have done splendid jobs in the 88-89 season.
And Victor Alexander probably on the bench for the final time. He's probably seen his last action and a rest up for tomorrow.
Free throw missed by Woods. (79-65) Iowa State with a minute and a half to go, and another turnover. That's 22 of them. Oklahoma State has had a tough time protecting that ball this afternoon.
And there's a veteran again, Bourne, a senior. You see, it's a temptation right there. Normal part of the game, you'd go for the fast break in that situation. But he knows that we talked about earlier times where that might be intentional.
It is. That's an intentional foul. Foul charged to Royce Jeffries.
Well, I think this is just frustration busting out all over right now in the Cowboys. They see it slipping down the tube and as well as gone, and Royce Jeffries just goes over and clobbers the guy.
Officials, no question about that, as they cross the wrists.
Well, the next 48 hours are going to be the longest in this young team's life as they wait for the NCAA to decide whether they get to play again.
No, I think what Leonard Hamilton's telling that team right now, I'm just guessing, but knowing the kind of guy is, hey, if we're going to get beat, don't go out and make some foolish plays or start hitting somebody or something like that. Let's go out with some class if we're going to get beat. I just knowing that guy, I'm sure that's about what he was telling. You could see he was going around to all 5 guys.
Iowa State calling a timeout. 1:20 to play in this one. Iowa State in control. We'll be back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66.
Whether it's blistering hot or freezing cold, you need a quality motor oil you can depend on. Drop Arctic Motor Oil in the distinctive gold bottle. It's more than a fair weather friend. Phillips 66. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
This is the place that brings you high detergent, super clean, unleaded gasolines with cash or credit at the same low price. The place that has good things for your car and a little something extra for you.
Nature's light. Bathing fields of grain. Enriching full, fresh hops. Giving life to sparkling streams, nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
Iowa State by 15. Gentlemen, Oklahoma State was going for win 1,000 this afternoon. They may have to wait for the NCAA or the NIT to get it. But Iowa State has done a splendid job here, and I can't say enough about both of these clubs. Hope some of the NCAA selectors are listening. Sam Mack banks one off the glass.
Let's hope the Cowboys get that 1,001 in the NCAA. because I think they definitely deserve to go.
Well, I'm going to do a little selling here, too. They've beaten Oklahoma. They've beaten Missouri. As I said earlier, 5 teams I think should go. They'd be number 5. I think last year's Big 8 performance in the NCAA may mean something here. Of course, the two finalists in the tournament played last year were from the Big 8. And I think over the last 5 years, too, the Big 8 has, this is a statistic I haven't seen too much, but in the last 5 years, the Big 8 has the best record of any conference in the NCAA tournament.
You are correct about that. Alexander made that field goal down at the other end. This is Woods missing at the line. 50 seconds to play. Long one arched up from outside by Corey Williams. Wouldn't go in the lane. Shovel shot. It wouldn't go down by Alexander. And coming out of there, Cart with it.
You think Baugh will shoot this one?
He better hadn't. He better hadn't, I'll tell you that. Or I'll have him.
Tell you what, it'd be a long bus ride back.
It really would be.
As short as it is, it would be long for Mr. Baugh.
Foul charge on Corey Williams, his 4th. Baugh had 28 against Oklahoma.
Well, and Jay, despite that bad shot, he has played a solid all-around game here this afternoon.
This one rolls around and down. 84-67 Iowa State. Very impressive Cyclone play here. And there's a frustration dunk by Dumas. 25 seconds remaining. Very well officiated game. They let them play, yet they had this thing in control. Oops, they had a problem down at the far end with the rim for a moment.
Well, as if it mattered, the rim was still in a down position, and who would have thought it, that Baugh went down and smashed it back up there.
He's done a little bit of everything, hasn't he? Here's Mack in underneath, the foul against Terry Woods. But I have to say, and sometimes people are rough on officials, but see that foul charge to Alexander. Darwyn Alexander. And Bourne's going to come out for Iowa State. A wounded Warrior. He gets a big hand.
Jay, when he came back in again, I resisted the temptation to say born again.
Well,
but he will be born again tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, he sure will. Hope to get a chance to talk with that young man.
What a shot he took.
I tell you.
You talk about Boom Boom Mancini. I mean, this guy looked like he'd been up against Hector Macho Camacho after he went to the dressing room.
Another free throw coming for Sam Mack. Johnny Orr. His club's going to go to 17-10. And they will go to 3-10 in first round play in this tournament over the years. 86-69. Dumas missing another dunk. Boy, it's frustrating for him. And now Mack the other way. Oh! A little icing on the cake. A Jordan-esque dunk. And we have 4 seconds remaining, and the Cyclone fans celebrating Johnny Orr with a fist in the air. And that is it. 87-69 Iowa State. The Cyclones will meet the winner of the Oklahoma-Colorado game tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Another great job, Jay, by this man, John Orr. Here's Johnny again in the semifinals of the Big 8 tournament.
Final score 88-69. This Big 8 tournament game is brought to you by Phillips 66. Good things for cars and the people who drive them. By Ford. by Counter, and by Budweiser. '69. Gary Thompson with Johnny Orr. Johnny's 141st victory at Iowa State, and a big one, Gary, for him.
Johnny J. Randolph just said your 141st victory at Iowa State's got to be one of your biggest, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, it is. It's one of our biggest because there's so much riding on it. I don't see how they can fail to take us now to the NCAA tournament. And the way this team is playing, it's unreal. They're just fantastic, and I couldn't be prouder of them. What a great game Terry Woods had for us, and we needed it. And we just had someone come through every time. It was a great victory. Everybody did a job, Coach. And Victor got fouls. We went with a small lineup, and they still couldn't score. It's a great win, and I'm so proud of this team, man. I can't tell you how good they've become.
You've got 4 guys today that were 20 points. It capped off kind of with Sam Mack's slam on the last bucket of the game.
Well, and Sam did a great job on those boards, didn't he? And Big Vic, Mark Baugh. Doggone it, Coach. I can't say enough about them. We changed our defense, went man-to-man, and went triangle and 2, and it was good for us. And then we come back triangle and 2 and got out and went man-to-man, and then back to triangle and 2. And it was some of those things that worked, and doggone, the guys did a job, Coach.
You mentioned you were dropping back in there on that triangle, too, and really shut them off on their inside game. And that's
well, we knew they wouldn't throw the ball back out. And so we crowded them in there, and we were very lucky. But it was a good game. We beat a great team, Coach, and that's our 6th win now in 7 games, and from a team that was just battered by the loss of Paul Dorfeld and then Elmer Robinson and then Darryl Spinks. And I can't be proud of the way these kids have come back and played.
Well, John, it's a good win, and I appreciate you stopping by to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you. We're looking forward for tomorrow, Coach.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after these messages.